Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in with me. I appreciate it. There's a video that I don't really do a lot of these where I just sit down and talk and discuss markets or the hair sheep, the hair sheep market in general and why it's doing what it's doing, or more about the economics. Most of our videos are in the pasture with dogs or with sheep or water tanks or fencers or moving or how we do this or why we do this. But the sheep market's got so high, I thought I'd take time and just kind of make a video about why it's so high, what's going on right now, and kind of some stuff you could do maybe to get some more dollars in your pocket. And the reason why I want to do this is there just isn't a lot of information out there. If you're a cattle guy, there is so much content out there about, you can literally every day there's a podcast or there's a market on YouTube or a video about the board, where it finished at, why it finished there, what the speculation is. And hair sheep, you just don't know. Like, people just go sell their lambs and say, oh, they're really high, or man, they're really cheap. And I just feel like it's kind of time to explore that a little bit. And I'd appreciate your feedback on it. But there's I'm not going to take credit for this, but I'm going to take all the credit. There's a couple places that I follow that I look for information. One of them, I follow them on Facebook. It's a Norwood Livestock auction down around, they're in southern Missouri. I think they're probably 4 or 5 hours south of me. They have a Facebook page, and they have some tremendous sales down there. And they put out like some good information about, like, learning information about the market and if it's hot and why it's hot. And I follow them, and I think it's a great resource if you're interested. I would encourage anybody to follow them. And I don't sell there because it's way too far from me, but I appreciate what they put out there. Another thing is, I know there's a market that I took some lambs to today, Kelowna Livestock, and they're for the Midwest. They're one of the premier markets. A guy that helps run the sale up there, I think his dad owns it, Kyle Mullet. I just called him and just visited with him a couple days ago and just said, hey man, I'm thinking about bringing some lambs up there. Why is the steel so high? Everyone just keeps talking about how high the hair sheep market is, and why is it? Well, it's kind of following the cattle deal. Basically, how he put it is the demand is exceeding the supply. He said the numbers just aren't out there. The numbers for sheep just aren't out there, which is kind of surprising because I kind of feel like sheep maybe have got a hair more popular here lately, but I could be wrong. But anyway, basically he just said the demand's there, and I'll go into here in a little bit. The hair sheep primarily all go into the inner cities to ethnic markets, particularly mainly Muslims. They love to eat hair sheep. When you go to Hy-Vee or Costco or wherever you get your meat from, behind the counter there, the lamb chops and the leg of lamb, that's wool sheep. The ethnic groups in the inner cities, they prefer the hair sheep, what we have. And that's kind of what fuels. That's what fuels us. That's what those people buying those sheep is what keeps that demand up there and keeps those prices high. And I was kind of talking to Kyle about that, and he said, and he carries some slaughter orders in there and probably feeder orders too up there at Kelowna. And he just basically said, they get trucked back to the inner city to a butcher shop where either the butcher processes the animal, sells cuts of meats to people, and I think he called it an open market, but I could be wrong. I think it's what it is. They'll bring them back there and they'll actually have a pen with some hay or some little pasture or something, and a family can come in and actually pick out the lamb that they want and butcher it right there themselves. They bring their own utensils, they just give them a place to do it, and they pay so many dollars and they get to cut it up themselves. And that's very, very popular with those ethnic groups in the cities. And like I said, it just comes down to demand is exceeding the supply. And we're seeing that in the cattle deal right now. That's all anybody talks about. Numbers are low. Well, apparently it's the same deal with sheep. And I hope that we get 2 or 3 good years of it. Because as you know, if you're a hair sheep man, we're not doing it for the government subsidies, But in the past, you might hit a lick and you sell some lambs that bring $150 and you're all pumped up. And then the next time you go to a sale barn, they bring 100. And you're just like, why is that? But hopefully that demand is here to stay for a little bit and we can get paid for all the hard work we do. Like I said, the government's not throwing out subsidies in our mailbox. So just we'll get something for it. What's going on right now is Ramadan. Not right now, but it's going to start here. I believe it's the 16th of February, the middle of February to the middle of March. There's a Muslim holiday called Ramadan. And the research that I've done on Ramadan says that it is a Muslim holiday where they fast during daylight hours. And when the sun goes down, they're allowed to eat. And they have kind of a smorgasbord, big, nice meal. It's a celebration. And predominantly the main dish preferred in Ramadan is lamb, specifically hair sheep lamb. So that's going on this month. A lot of people that might be holding on to some lambs right now, and Norwood, I'm not taking credit for this, Norwood said this, in our minds, sheep people, you always think, oh, Easter lambs, Easter market. Norwood even came out and said, they said, really has no direct correlation. I mean, the sales of lamb right in this day and age have nothing to do with Easter. There's no Easter market for lambs. There's really no meal around Easter that features lamb. They said right now be keying in on Ramadan because they are wanting hair sheep lambs predominantly. There's another rabbit hole I'm going to go down, 50 to 70 pounds. Now, if you've sold very many hair sheep and fed very many hair sheep, you always think about that because you look at your sale bill and you're like, well, I had some 90-pound lambs and they barely brought just a handful of dollars over what my 65-pound lambs are. That's because for whatever reason, those ethnic groups we talked about earlier, they prefer a lighter carcass. They want to buy a 50 to 70-pound lamb. That's what they want to butcher. That's what they want to eat. I don't know if it's more palatable. I don't know what it is, but give them what they want. And that is the sweet spot, 50 to 70 pounds. In our area, I should go back, I've talked about how high hair sheep are. We're seeing 50-pound lambs up around, 440, 450 a pound. The 70-pound lambs right there around $4 a pound. It's crazy. It's the highest I've ever seen. I think it's the highest it's ever been. So, just if you still have some to market, let's think about that. Let's think about, probably be getting them gone. And probably a lot of people that watch this channel don't have a lot right now. And I just lucked into it because I had those fall sheep that we bought. But if I didn't, I wouldn't have any available now. That's the thing. When you lamb in May, like we do, or the end of April, typically people don't hold on their lambs for almost a year. And that's a battle. That's another thing. That's something that we battle with as hair sheep producers is lambing during, it makes me think well, should I be lambing during June and July? Would that be better? Would it be better if I lambed in, let's say, July or June, just to try to hit that market? But then do you really want to be lambing in June and July? There's just so many variables but I was fortunate enough to have some lambs on feed and be able to take some up there and hit this sale and hit this hot market. So, like I said, just want to kind of make a little informative video about what's going on in the sheep market right now. I don't know if it'll hold. I hope it does, but good luck to you. Good luck. Happy marketing. And let's see, it is February, March, April. So a lot of people be lambing. Next 2-3 months, we'll be spitting baby lambs out. I'm going to pull my rams next month. Just something to kind of think about. And if you've got any ideas for some videos or something you want to see, I'm considering maybe interviewing some guys that run some barns and stuff and visiting with them. And that's something that I'd like to do more of, is get more in depth about the market and what it's doing. But anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next time.